All right. Well, I want to thank everybody for subscribing to basically, I guess, my second channel, really. Maybe we'll do some more, like I said, shenanigans, different types of things, more topics, maybe more snooping, you know. But definitely want to do a lot of watch parties. That way we can kind of sit here and as a group kind of dissect all this information because it means so when we watched it originally, it just doesn't mean the same, 2 years later, especially after everything that's changed in 2021. So let's pull this up. It's a little loud, isn't it? Okay, so I did run a poll to see who had seen this Dr. Phil episode and who hadn't. And it looks like out of 48 votes, it was 50-50. That's interesting because I hadn't seen it in its entirety until earlier today. But at any point, if you guys want to stop this, just kind of break down any of this information because it's a lot. It really is. That's crazy, D. 5 times. What's up, Mike? Hana Lee, you have seen this? I've seen the majority of it, but just in bits and pieces from what I could find on YouTube. But then this Pepper, what is it, Pepper Pizza or something, posted the full episode, so I had to snatch it up. All right, we'll just kind of go. This is about a 40-minute video. We'll stop and go as we move along here. And hopefully at some point we'll get CD on board. We'll be here for a while. Also want to talk about the updated information. Got some, got the most recent media clips that were put out on YouTube and out onto the interweb. So we'll see that. Some YouTubers went out there and got some good footage. We're going to take a look at that as well. Let's get right into it.
Well, today we're investigating a mysterious case of 2 young girls who vanished without a trace. 14-year-old Liberty German and 13-year-old Abby Williams were reported missing on February 13, 2017. When they did not return from a walk on a popular trail in their hometown of Delphi, Indiana. The best friends did everything together, and they died by each other's sides. Their bodies were found 1 day after they went missing. Now, almost 10 months later, their killer is still at large. And the key to this case may be in Liberty's heroic final actions. In the moments before she and her best friend disappeared, Liberty used her cell phone to take a photo of the man who appeared to be following them. She also recorded a gravelly voice ordering the girls, quote, down the hill. Did Liberty capture both the image and the voice of her killer? Take a look.
Abigail Williams and Liberty German disappeared on a popular hiking trail near their homes in Indiana.
Their bodies found in the woods east of Delphi the next day on Valentine's Day.
It's just all we can do is pray and just support them and help them through it.
It's the haunting final image of a 13-year-old girl on a hiking trip just before she was murdered. Her friend who took the photo and posted it to Snapchat was also slain. Liberty took another haunting photo, this lonely trail ahead. She could not have imagined a killer was lurking nearby.
Hey, Boston, how you doing?
I've been at it for 30 years, and I've never seen this in my career.
It's so hard.
Words don't come easy right now, but tears do, especially when these sisters think about Libby. The girls all on the middle school swim team together.
The girls were my girls' ages, and I can't even put myself in their shoes.
Police released a picture of the man believed to be the killer, taken on Libby's cell phone the day the girls disappeared, and this audio believed to be the killer's voice.
We have a murderer walking around. He took 2 innocent lives well before their time.
Well, Liberty and Abby's families are here today. Now, the case has dozens of fascinating clues that have sparked the entire country to float theories about who could have murdered these 2 beautiful and innocent young girls. But their parents are left struggling to make sense of the messages the girls may have left behind.
My sister Libby and Abby were always together.
They played volleyball together.
They've never really gotten in any fights.
They were both in band. We both played the alto sax.
They liked going out and playing softball.
They were super close. One of our bumper stickers says best friends who earn their wings together. They were very, very good friends.
Abby spent the night with us on the night of the 12th because the girls were out of school.
We had a movie night and ate pizza. The next day, Libby asked if I would take them to High Bridge.
Lamona Bridge is an abandoned railroad bridge. It's just a local historical point.
When I dropped them off, it was just like any other time I dropped them off to go to the trails. I just said goodbye and told Libby I loved her and that I'd see her when I got home.
Her dad called Libby at 3:11 to tell them he was getting close to the pickup point, and she didn't answer. He got there and he called him again, and she did not answer, so he walked down towards the bridge looking for them. By 3:30, he called me and said, Libby's not answering. Could you guys try getting a hold of her? I called Mike at work and said, we have a problem, and he said, I'll meet you there.
When I heard they were missing, I just figured Libby had lost track of time and her phone died.
I had a couple of missed calls. It was Becky saying that we need to go to the sheriff's department.
Everybody was pitching in, fire department, the local police, the sheriff. People were walking around the trails.
The sheriff asked to see if the girls had posted anything recently. That was when the first photo came up, stating that they had been at the bridge, and the photo was taken about 2:07. At midnight, the police did call the search off for the evening.
We started searching again in the early morning.
It was a whole array of folks, friends, family, everybody.
Sometime around noon, they found the girls.
We heard them yell up the hill that they'd found them. One of my family members fall to the ground, and he was crying. I didn't know what to think.
I kept asking them to let me go there. They wouldn't let me.
The pastor came and found me. He said they found the girls, and they didn't make it.
Well, as I said earlier, Liberty recorded chilling images and audio on her cell phone of a man ordering the girls down the hill.
Libby did get a video of the guy secretly. You could hear him telling the girls to go down the hill.
We assume he's referring to at the end of the trail.
We have listened to it over and over and over. If we were to hear it, I'm sure we would know it.
When I hear the voice, I try to remember the people I've seen or the people that I've heard talk to me and try to figure out if I've ever heard it before.
It's been the 10-month mark, and we still have not located the person who did this.
We don't go anywhere. We don't do anything that we aren't looking for this guy.
We have a hole in our family now.
There are days that I would just rather not be here. Have it go away.
Losing Libby has been devastating.
I carry her book bag to school. I think Libby's with me every day.
My fear is that we could be here 10 years from now and we won't know what happened or why.
I miss having my secret keeper and my best friend.
Well, I'm so glad to meet y'all. And like so many people in the interviews and tapes have been said, I'm so sorry for your loss. It's not the natural order of things for us to bury our children. How are you dealing with this day to day?
We take it day by day. We are doing everything that we can to help the law enforcement. We aren't the type of people to just sit around, so we have tried to spread the word. We send flyers to people. Our goal right now is to get his face out there everywhere, in every town, that he can't go into a single town that his face isn't staring at him.
How do you deal with this at this point?
Well, every morning I wake up, I walk down the hallway, and there's a picture of Libby. And I say good morning to her. And that gives me the motivation to stay on task here, to go out and catch this guy. Because I truly believe, Doctor, that somebody out there knows this guy. Somebody knows something. Nobody lives in total isolation in today's world.
Right.
And I'm asking that person, please, help us out. So staying focused on trying to catch this guy is one of the things that helps keep me going.
Of course. And how about you? What do you say to yourself about this every day? I mean, this is every parent's worst nightmare, obviously.
There are days that we get up and I think about what I've got.
Well, it looks like we're back. Hey, what's up, Callie? Yeah, Dr. Phil got my ass. I wonder if they took down the other video already. Yeah, you're right, Jules. I'm trying to figure out a way around that. So, anyway, let's take a look at some things here. I did line up some things that won't get us booted. Well, I'm glad you guys said something. Usually nobody says anything, and then if I keep going, I think it'll like end the stream completely. So I'm glad we didn't get booted. I had a feeling it would happen. I was trying to find a way around it. Now we know. All right, here's the stuff I was going to play after Dr. Phil. See how this goes.
and asked for our assistance.
Our understanding from a law enforcement source was that the FBI was in charge of obtaining relevant
Can you guys hear
surveillance
that?
from local establishments. That included a Marathon gas station in Delphi. And remember, the FBI was on the scene nearly immediately. It's not as if they were responding weeks later after all the tapes had been wiped clean. But even as the murders continued to go unsolved for years, other law enforcement officials rested assured that the FBI had done all it could to obtain the relevant surveillance footage from area establishments.
Well,
right now is happening in Miami County with investigators from the Indiana State Police combing through a section of the Wabash River. As we previously reported, this search has been linked to the Delphi murder investigation by a podcast that is reporting on the killings. I was there today to try to figure out what police are looking for.
Members of the Indiana State Police have spent the last couple weeks searching through the shallow waters of the Wabash River in Peru. They were back at it today using metal detectors and scuba gear, and it appears they still haven't found whatever they're looking for.
They started kind of on this side, and it was the first day I walked by, there was maybe 10 guys, all in the same outfits, and I was kind of curious what was going on.
Dave Noonan walks on the trails that pass by the search area nearly every day.
And then as the time progresses, they've kind of worked their way out. And of course, you notice all the state police cars over here on the side.
The search area is just 2 miles from the home of Kagan Klein, which was raided in the weeks after the bodies of Abby Williams and Libby German were discovered in Delphi. Klein's name first surfaced when, according to court documents, investigators allege he was communicating via social media with Libby the night before the girls were killed and made plans to meet the 14-year-old on the bridge during a day off from school. Klein is currently facing dozens of charges for child porn and has been linked to the Delphi investigation, but has not been charged with the murders.
Our understanding from anonymous sources is that that search is connected to something involving Kagan Klein.
The Murder Sheet podcast recently uncovered court filings that show Klein was temporarily transferred to Indiana State Police custody earlier this month. Following that transfer, the search of the river began, and the podcasters were there as it started.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious on what they're doing.
Indiana State Police wouldn't comment on what they're doing here or what they're looking for, but if it is related to the Delphi killings, people around here are hoping it finally gives police the answers they need.
We're kind of living in scary times a little bit. Nothing actually would surprise me anymore. But I would hope that they could get this solved.
Now again, Klein has not been charged in connection to the Delphi murders. It's unclear how long Indiana State Police will continue to search that river.
Digital, that's a good point. Digital said, toward the end of the show, Carter says the first sketch came from a face-to-face encounter with a citizen in Delphi. That's something they said in the Dr. Phil episode, and I wanted to talk about that. So what does that mean? Is that our false witness? Is that our witness maybe not seeing what she thought she saw, maybe seeing somebody that had reason to be there? What does that mean?
Authorities in Indiana zeroing in on a suspect in the infamous Delphi murders.
Anthony Ponce joins us from the newsroom with a new development. Anthony.
Dawn and Corey, two true crime podcasters who have been closely following the 2017 murders of 2 teenage girls got an anonymous tip about a riverbed search. And that search, they say, may indicate that authorities are zeroing in on a former local resident. A week ago today, Anya Kane and Kevin Greenlee of the Murder Sheet podcast heard from multiple anonymous sources that state police were conducting a search of the Wabash River in Peru, Indiana, related to the case. That day, they drove there and sure enough captured these images of a number of officers with buckets, spades, what appeared to be metal detectors combing the river. Now, what is significant about Peru, Indiana is it is just a few miles away from the former residence of a man named Kagan Klein. Klein is an accused pedophile already in custody for using a fake Instagram account to lure underage victims. That is an account which interacted with one of the Delphi victims the day of the murders themselves.
We went up after getting a tip and witnessed ourselves, ISP personnel,
combing through the river. We saw about 12 different individuals kind of wading into this very shallow water right off the Kelly Avenue Bridge.
Hey, what's going on, Big Fish? Says, I'd like to know how they determine who had reason to be there. I mean, that's a good point. I hope they even looked at all the young people, because I keep hearing that over and over again. Oh, there was all these young people. You know, I hope they took a really good look at those people as well.
Peru,
Indiana is where Kagan Klein lived. In fact, this bridge is only a few miles away from where he used to live with his
could be
father.
D.
Greenlee and Kane also said just before the search that Indiana State Police filed paperwork to assume custody of Kagan Klein, who until then had been held by a county sheriff's
that's
office.
true.
Now, it is important, though, to point out
Holman
that state
even,
police have not confirmed the
confirmed
search
that
to be related to the Delphi
at
murders,
CrimeCon.
and Klein has not officially been named a suspect. Dawn?
All right. Now, this comes from a YouTube channel called Famously Unfamous. I guess he went down there by the search site and got some good footage. We'll take a look at that. It's just, I didn't get the whole video, just a short little clip from where he showed up at the bridge. Very interesting. Link to the video and his channel are in the description already. And we'll do it with no audio. Yeah, I heard there was a lot of encounters with him near the Freedom Bridge area. That's where the majority of people are going to be anyway. It's a pretty big bridge. Look at where they're searching. I mean, did they even kind of get an idea? Was he driving by? Did he throw something out of the window? You know, like a frisbee, where you throw it hard and it goes, you know, kind of far? Were you walking and you threw it? Did you park, walk down maybe a path near the bridge and throw it straight out into the water. Unless they're just searching every inch of it from a certain point to another certain point. Kind of like a grid. Hey, what's up, Tattoo? From a vehicle, Olivia, or walking? Okay. Yeah, because I guarantee there's some fish. Well, let's take a look here at this. It's a little theory I have. Okay, let me put it on full screen here. Let me get rid of this. Okay, so earlier today I was kind of looking at Google Maps and I was trying to figure out why the hell they would choose to go to Marathon, that gas station. So I kind of had a theory. So I'm going to see if I can walk you guys through it here. Bear with me. Now, this is considering, or if you buy into the idea that Kagan or somebody that he's related to or knows is responsible for this crime. Okay. So right here in this general area is where Tony Klein and Keegan were staying at the time. And this is Peru. Now look at all the gas stations right there near them. So if they were planning this, let me pause this. So let's say they woke up and we know because of the interview transcripts that they were logging into the Anthony Shots account on two separate devices at about 8 a.m. So they woke up with the intentions of doing something relating to those accounts. But we also know that at some point from 8 a.m., they ended up on Country Club Road. They didn't gas up. If they needed gas and they were planning to go to Delphi, they would have done it prior to that. So this is where I think Tony Klein may not even be connected. It may actually be a friend of Keegan's, and this is why I think that. Check this out. So you got all these gas stations between Canal Street and Country Club Road. They didn't stop at any one of these. Okay. So at some point they had this in this direction. Exactly. That's right, Savannah. Wouldn't you fill up gas prior? So I think this is where the plan to meet the girls is hatched. We're pretty sure Keegan Klein's not going to go meet anybody. But here's Country Club Road. And somewhere in this general area by the cemetery, I believe, is the location of wherever Keegan Klein was connected. So I know the cemetery is somewhere right there, somewhere in this general area. I'm not exactly sure. But if Keegan Klein is here, let me stop this real quick. So Keegan Klein's phone is connected to a Wi-Fi in this general area. And he's looking at porn, apparently. So let's assume that whoever was with Keegan in the morning, logging in and out of his phones, or maybe it was just him. Maybe that's his routine. He ends up over here for whatever reason. And I think it's from this point between 8 o'clock and I would even say 10 a.m. Between 8 and 10 a.m. they have hatched the plan to head to Delphi from that location. Okay. Now, for whatever reason, these guys did not want to get off the freeway because if you notice, that location is very close to an on-ramp to the Hoosier Heartland Highway. They're not going to want to get off that highway. So if somebody's asking for a ride and saying, hey, I'll get you gas or we'll gas up when we get over there. So they would have driven all the way past Logansport and heading towards Delphi at this point. But it still remains why that marathon? Why pass an exit right next to the bridge and continue on down to the south side of Delphi? Well, I think it had to do with the school right there. Delphi Community Middle School, Delphi High School. I doubt that Keegan or the killer, if it's Keegan or anybody connected to Keegan, had any idea that they had a snow day. Okay, so the girls we know didn't wake up until later, and they stayed up, probably being catfished, and they woke up probably around 10. So these guys would have been already probably in Delphi right around the same time they're waking up. So if you notice, the closest gas station to the school is that Marathon gas station. So I think these guys came thinking that they could lure them out somewhere near the school. Why else would they go to that gas station? So yeah, that's the closest gas station, and they're gonna. By this point, they've noticed that the schools are closed. They're like, "What the hell?" But they also know that Riley Park is right there, so they're gonna head over to Riley Park. So it's anywhere between, I would say, 9:30 and 10:30 at that time. The girls would be waking up and start communicating on social media. So it's going to be at this point, they receive word that the girls will be at the Monon High Bridge. They're going to go check it out. So I think they're going to drive up. They're going to look at that parking. They're going to look at the Freedom Bridge parking. They're going to look at the CPS building. And then they're going to drive past the cemetery area. They're going to get a good look at everything. And at this point, it's probably getting close to 12 o'clock. Exactly, big fish. We're just we're entertaining the idea. This is a hypothetical discussion here. Okay. So it's at this point, about 12 o'clock. They've chosen to park at the CPS building. So what do you guys think? Does that make any sense to you guys? Why, if it's true that they selected that marathon, is it because it's the closest gas station near the high school and the schools, the middle school? Well, that was a failed watch party, but everybody who attempted, I'm not sure what happened with CD. Good thing we didn't get him because we lost our stream. So we'll figure it out next time. Maybe I'll have to just break it into sections and interrupt it every like minute or so, you know? But I think overall this was a successful first stream for my second channel, just to kind of break it in a little bit. Hey, Jessica says, I don't like Dr. Phil, but I was willing to watch this. Yeah, it didn't work out. We're going to get him on the next one, though. Ronnie Bald says, I wonder, is this when KK says he was to meet the girls, but they never showed up, but others found out where they were? Yeah, I'm wondering if whatever caused him to end up over at Country Club Road, I'm wondering if the topic came up, like, hey, do you know any girls, or, you know, who are you talking to? Or maybe he was showing off, like, hey, check this out. And somebody there that, you know, may have been a little more dangerous than Keegan Klein was like, hey, they're going to the bridge. You know, they think you're going to meet them at the bridge. Are you serious? Let's go. And maybe they went down there and were, you know, tried to approach him and be like, yeah, so maybe we're not, you know, some handsome model or whatever, but, you know, you should give us a try. And the girls were like, nah, we're not into all that. We don't like what's going on. And then maybe at that point it was just too late. But if Keegan Klein was not with whoever did this and was back at Country Club on his phone looking at porn, when they got home, they would have been covered in blood. There would have been scratches all over the place. He would have known exactly what took place. Yeah, D, we're going to figure it out. It's possible. All right, guys. Well, back to the drawing board. We'll try to figure something out on the next live stream. Stay posted on this channel number 2 for different types of things, you know, some sci-fi stuff, other true crime topics. I might get into some conspiracy stuff, some ufologist stuff, just real random things, strange events, you know, mysteries, unsolved mystery type stuff. Stay posted, and we're going to figure this out. But on that note, I'm going to get out of here, guys, and I'm sure I'll catch you very soon. Take care.